who will arrive from Chicago tomorrow, and they're making the deal for John Garland, who walked across the hallway from the visiting dugout to the Dodger clubhouse. By the way, John Garland, former D-back, will start for the Dodgers Thursday night against Arizona. As for the Dodgers, 5.5 in front. The Giants are in Philadelphia with their hands full, and Colorado is home with the New York Mets. Tonight, Yusmeiro Petit with a record of 3-8. He is 0-2 against the Dodgers this year, 0-3 in his career. Vicente Padilla, who pitched well for 5 innings in Colorado, will be on the mound for the Blue. We'll get to the ball game. We'll have it all coming up for you right after this.
your Southern California Chevy dealer. Chevy is on eBay. Go to Chevy.ebay.com. And by Jack in the Box, where you can get anything on the menu any time of the day. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Tuesday evening to you, wherever you may be, shrouded in smoke and mist as the mountains in center field disappear, crystal clear inside Dodger Stadium, where the Dodgers and the Arizona Diamondbacks prepare to meet for Game 2 of this 4-game series. It's also the 13th meeting of the year between the two clubs. The Dodgers have won 7, lost 5, losing to Arizona last night. A couple of little guys and girls are down behind home plate, ready to holler out it's time for Dodger baseball. Those are the youngsters going to run on the field, but directly behind home plate, there are the little ones, and I think they're getting prepared to holler what time it is.
It's time for Dodgers baseball!
You bet it is. It's time for Dodger baseball. It's time for Vicente Padilla to go out to the mound, and it's time for the Arizona Diamondbacks to try to extend a 5-game winning streak, turning one around on the Dodgers last night in 10 innings. The D-back lineup, Stephen Drew, followed by Ryan Roberts at second base, Justin Upton in right, Mark Reynolds at third hitting cleanup. The catcher is Miguel Montero. In left field, Gerardo Parra. In center field, Chris Young. At first base would be Chad Tracy. And on the mound, Yusmeiro Petit, a tall right-hander whom we'll see in a little while. Right now, 31-year-old Vicente Padilla goes to the mound, picked up a victory in Colorado, went 5 innings, allowed 2-run ball. Dodgers won the game 3-2. In that, he struck out 1 and moved along to pick up the victory. Against Arizona, he is 4-3 with a complete game. The last time he faced the D-backs was the end of June at Chase Field. He was pitching for the Texas Rangers, and he got the win. He allowed just 1 run in 6 innings, and the Rangers won that game 2-1. If you go back to the beginning of last year, in his time with Texas against the National League, he is 6-1. And he's 3-0 in 4 starts against the National League this year. So the Dodgers feel that even though he had a so-so record, 8-6 with Texas, he is back where he is most effective in the National League. To test him, Stephen Drew, Ryan Roberts, and Justin Upton. And we'll take a look at the Dodgers with the leather. They shape up on the infield, Loney, Hudson, Furcal, and Blake. The outfield, Ramirez, Campanethier, and Padilla and Martin are the battery. So the top of the first inning, and Stephen Drew will start it off. Stephen, 26 years old, the brother of J.D. Drew, out of the same little town, Hahira, Georgia. For Stephen Drew, he has been playing very well of late as far as producing with runners in scoring position. And after all, that's a major part of the game, isn't it? So Drew checks in at the plate. Padilla turns, ready, and delivers, and the first pitch a little high, ball 1. Drew hitting .262. He has 11 home runs and 56 runs batted in. Now the 1-0 pitch on the way to the left-hand hitting shortstop, and that's outside, ball 2, 2-0. Even though Stephen Drew has struggled of late, when there are runners in scoring position, he has been cleaning up. For the last 3 weeks, 9 for 18 and 13 runs batted in. He takes off the plate again, ball 3. Well, it has cooled off a little bit. Last night when the game began, the temperature was 88 degrees, and tonight it is 84 degrees as we start off. So Padilla turns on the rubber, and the 3-0 pitch on the way is taken for a strike, and the count 3-1. So Stephen Drew trying to point his club in the right direction. Waiting on deck, hitting back of him, Ryan Roberts, and then Justin Upton. The 3-1 pitch is swung on and fouled away. 3-2 the count. The Dodgers have done very well within the division, which is certainly a reason why they are where they are. They begin tonight 35-17, better than 2-1. And they have 19 of the 30 games remaining, including tonight, against the West. 3-2 pitch on the way, foul back. By the way, the biggest race right now is the wild card, and that would be between the Giants and Colorado. Well, the Phillies and Cole Hamels getting ready for postseason beat the Giants 1-0. Hamels pitched a 2-hitter and beat Jonathan Sanchez. 3-2 pitch, and Drew takes in the dirt, ball 4. So the D-backs have a runner, and the batter will be Ryan Roberts. One other thing, the Rockies pounding the Mets. It's 7-2 Colorado in the 5th inning. Jorge De La Rosa on the mound for Colorado. Todd Helton hit a 3-run home run. So it could be the Rockies will get back to having a slight edge on the Giants, lead them by 1 in the wild card race. And remember, tomorrow night, pitching for the Giants against the Phillies, right, Brad Penny. Here now is Ryan Roberts, right-hand hitter, plays left field and also second base. And he has a look at a pitch that's low. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Roberts is the young fella who is heavily tattooed. And you can tell if you're watching on TV, looking at his forearms. He has one particular tattoo that means a great deal to him. It says, "Only the strong survive." He also has his initials RR on his arm. So Ryan Roberts out of Fort Worth, Texas. He'll be 29 the middle of September. Went to the University of Texas, Arlington. Now the 1-0 pitch on the way. Ryan, a good hitter, batting .296. Padilla very deliberate, whips a fastball down and away. 2 balls and no strikes to count, so he's having trouble getting a strike after walking Drew. 2-0 to Roberts, and on deck the fellow who really shook up the Dodgers last night, and that would be Justin Upton. Upton last night had a broken bat single. He had a home run in the 8th inning, and he had a double to score the 2nd run that helped deprive Randy Wolf of a victory, and he wound up with yet another no decision, as the losing pitcher was James McDonald. So 2-0 the count to Ryan Roberts. Padilla at the belt, another look over at first. Now Vicente deals, and this is low. 3-0 the count. You know, it's interesting, and it's not an excuse. It's just an insight into the game. Most pitchers tell you it takes a while when you're on the road to get accustomed to the mound. It could be for Padilla. He's struggling as if he were a visiting player. The 3-0 pitch, and that's in at the knees for a strike. Padilla is from Chinandega, Nicaragua, and that was a battlefield. That was a bloodbath down there when you remember the Contras and the Sandinistas, and he grew up amidst all of that pain and sorrow. The 3-1 pitch to Ryan Roberts. Vicente deals down and away. So all of a sudden, back-to-back walks to open up the game, and now he gets into the deep water with Upton, Reynolds, and Montero, and Rick Honeycutt going out to see if he can help him. Rafael Furcal coming in to try and give him the Spanish version of a pep talk. So Padilla surrounded by friends who want to help him for the moment, and Honeycutt holding forth. Meanwhile, in the Dodger dugout, the newest Dodger, John Garland. And Garland acquired from the D-backs last night, and he'll be on the mound against Arizona Thursday evening. We've often talked about the fact that pitchers covey up. They always sit together. And among other things, and believe me, they not only scout the other team's hitters, they scout their own hitters, because sooner or later they might be facing them. So all the time that he was sitting in the Arizona dugout, he was scouting the Dodger hitters, and now we'll see the result of all that scouting Thursday. All right, Padilla ready to work on Upton, who has a 9-game hitting streak. Bunts up along third. Blake charges, bare hand pick. Oh, too late. Justin Upton with great speed drops a bunt up along third, and the bases are loaded with nobody out. So Upton last night had 3 straight hits, single, home run, double. Now a bunt single, and the bases loaded, nobody out for Mark Reynolds. So the D-backs with a big opportunity to jump out in front. And Reynolds, the feast or famine hitter, who I'm sure just overswings with bases loaded. He's hitting only 162. A very, very aggressive hitter. 40 home runs, 90 runs batted in. Padilla ready and delivers, and the fastball is low. Ball one. So Reynolds waiting at the plate, having a big year. Despite the fact he pays the price of being so aggressive, he has struck out 177 times. Padilla in trouble. And the 1-0 pitch on the way. Vicente deals, swung on and missed. And they count 1-1. And going back to look at Padilla versus Reynolds, Reynolds 0 for 3 against him in the past. So Mark Reynolds trying to get the D-backs off to a big jump here. Signed by the D-backs out of the University of Virginia. And the 1-1 pitch on the way. Padilla at the belt, very deliberate. Now to the plate, swung on and missed. 0-2 the count. Well, this is typical Reynolds. And I'm sure he is a very tough player to have. Not that he won't follow rules, but if you're his manager, to watch him strike out as many times as he does, given the opportunities he has, will make A.J. Hinch a lot older than his present age. 1-2 the count to Mark Reynolds. Padilla at the belt, checking, very deliberate. Now to the plate, swung on and missed. So Mark Reynolds comes up empty with the bases loaded, one away, and the batter will be Miguel Montero. High fastball, and Reynolds blown away. Reynolds struck out once last night. So now the batter is Miguel Montero, who has really come along with the bat. Montero has a 5-game hitting streak, and over that stretch he's hit 400. Last night Montero had 2 singles, and they walked him intentionally at one at bat. So bases loaded, 1 out. Montero takes a strike, and the count 0-1. Doesn't say anything to Paul Emmel, the plate umpire. Over that 5-game streak is 3 doubles, a home run, and a half a dozen runs batted in. Drew, Roberts, and Upton are all out there with 1 out. And Padilla ready. Vicente's strike 1 pitch is swung on and missed. 0-2. This is a young ball club by and large. Not that Reynolds and Montero are that young, but it is the second youngest team in the major leagues, right behind the Cleveland Indians. So 0-2 the count. Montero 13 home runs, 50 runs batted in, had 1 slam last year against Houston. And the strike 2 pitch on the way. Padilla looking over at third, now ready and delivers, and the pitch high and away. Ball 1. If you just joined us, Stephen Drew opened up with a walk. Ryan Roberts walked. Upton laid down a dandy for a bunt single to load the bases. Reynolds struck out, and a 1-2 count to Miguel Montero with Gerardo Parra on deck. Again, Padilla very, very deliberate. The 1-2 pitch on the way, swung on and golfed foul outside of first, skipping up into the stands. So it's still 1-2 to Miguel Montero, with Gerardo Parra waiting his turn on deck. Padilla wandering around on the mound, straddling the rubber. Bases loaded, 1 out, first inning, no score. Giants lost, Colorado winning. The 1-2 pitch coming up. Padilla set to the plate, and it's foul back again. So Miguel Montero, who is really a slice of the future for Arizona. Chris Snyder has done a wonderful job, but this fella from Caracas, Venezuela, is only 26. And he figures to do the bulk of the catching. And of course, it's great if you have a left-hand hitting catcher. The Dodgers certainly enjoyed one for quite a while by the name of Mike Sosa. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Drew, Roberts, and Upton are all out on the lines with 1 out. And the 1-2 pitch to Miguel Montero. Padilla so deliberate. Now off-speed pitch hit foul outside of first. Big slow curveball in the 70s. Montero 5'11", 195. Way back in the low minors, he had 24 home runs. He had 10 home runs 2 years ago, and he has 13 as he stands at the plate tonight. 1-2. The left-hand hitting catcher waiting. Padilla hiding the ball back of the hip, now set at the belt, looks at the runners, and the 1-2 pitch to Montero. Vicente delivers, fastball fouled away. Off third, down the line. Padilla lets fly a 95-mile-an-hour express, and Montero just did get a piece of it. They say that Montero does have a tendency to overswing, but of course he's hitting in the lineup after Mark Reynolds. 1-2 the count. Padilla, another new ball, and the pitch of the plate is swung on and fouled away again. That's 3 consecutive foul balls, each time Padilla getting a new one. And he takes a walk on the grass around the mound. Drew had walked at third. Roberts walked at second. Upton, who bunted for a base hit at first. And here's a hot hand at the plate, Miguel Montero. 1-2. Out of a stretch goes Padilla, trying to get out of a mess here. And the right-hander ready, checks, delivers, and Montero swings and misses. So both Reynolds and Montero strike out with the bases loaded. And with 2 down, the batter is Gerardo Parra. Now, Parra is a left-handed batter. He's out of the Dominican Republic and was signed by the D-backs 5 years ago. He's one of the rare players to experience the thrill of a lifetime. Parra, in July of this year, hit a home run in his first major league at-bat. Hitting .285, 5 home runs. Parra hits an off-speed pitch off the leg of Padilla. Everybody moves up 90 feet, and the D-backs are on the board. So Vicente is stung on the leg on a comebacker off the bat of Parra, and the D-backs finally get a run as Parra drives it in, and everybody moves up. Drew carries it in. Roberts goes to third. Upton goes to second. And Parra with the RBI. There was no play by the time Padilla went over almost to the third base foul line. The play was over. So 1-0. And now, as Parra stands at first base talking to his coach, Lorenzo Bundy, the batter is Chris Young. Young is one of those players, when you first see him, you think, what a remarkable talent. And you'd be absolutely correct. But it shows you how tough it is to stay in this league and do well. He was incredibly gifted. Young waiting at the plate. 2 down, bases loaded, 1-0 D-backs. And he takes breaking ball off the plate. Ball 1, 1-0. When Upton broke in, he homered in 3 straight games early in April. Only the 4th player in Major League history to do that at the age of 20. Young waiting. Out of a stretch goes Padilla. The 1-0 pitch. Young swings, hits it in the air, foul off first, down the line, and that will go well back into the crowd. One and one to count to Chris Young. Only the second rookie in Major League history to have 30 home runs and steal 20. The other rookie was Nomar Garcia-Parra. So he's out of Houston. Put up huge numbers in 2007. 1-1 pitch on the way. Padilla in trouble, down 1-0, and Young promptly whacks one foul, and the count 1-2. Young 6'2", 185. And in his first full year with the D-backs, he had 32 home runs, stole 27 bases. Then last year, it fell off to 22 home runs, but he had 85 runs batted in, and he hasn't been able to get started this year, hitting just 191 with 7 home runs, 28 runs batted in. 1-2 pitch on the way to the slender right-hand hitter, and Padilla delivers, and it's fouled away again. So Montero fouled off a lot of pitches and then struck out. Parra didn't hang around. Parra came up and probably singled off Padilla's leg to drive in the run. 1 run and 2 hits for the D-backs in the first inning. Padilla has made 30 pitches, so he is really struggling. Now Vicente set, standing room only on the infield, and the 1-2 pitch coming up to Chris Young. Padilla delivers off speed, and that's foul back. Big curveball up and in. Chris just did get a piece of it. Young paying the price. There are 3 fellas in the lineup for the D-backs who have struck out over 100 times. Reynolds 178, Upton 108, and Young 100. 1-2 to Chris. Padilla trying to fight his way off the ropes and get out of the inning. The 1-2 pitch, fastball low. 2-2 the count. The gun shows he hit mid-90s. Chris Young 1 for 4 last night. However, in the last 15 games, he is 3 for 37. That would be a batting average of .081. Deuce is wild here. Padilla checks, ready, comes to the plate, fastball popped in the air, foul. Coming back to get it is Martin, right back to the screen, and it's on the other side of the screen. So the count stays 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 1 run in. The bases loaded, and the D-backs leading the Dodgers 1-0. Chris Young was originally drafted by the Chicago White Sox at a Bel Air High School in Texas. He went to Bel Air. Jane Bloney went to Lawrence Elkins, and they battled each other for a long time, especially in a championship game. All right, Young waits. Padilla out of a stretch, checks the runners, still checking. The 2-2 pitch, Young takes off the plate, ball 3. So with a full count and 2 down, Messrs. Roberts, Upton, and Parra will be off to the races. Roberts walking down the line from third. Upton, who flies, out there at second, and Parra over at first. Big pitch for Vicente Padilla. Right-hander ready, runners poised and at the ready. The runners go. Fastball is popped in the air. Might be a play, maybe not. Blake coming over to the Dodger dugout and looking anxiously. It's 4 rows back of the dugout, and the count remains 3-2. So it's a little maddening for Vicente Padilla. All the foul balls that Montero hit, and now Young is doing the same thing. So Roberts stands at third, Upton at second, Parra at first with 2 out. Padilla with his back to the wall. He's got to throw strikes. 3-2 the count. On deck, hitting back of Young, left-hand hitter Chad Tracy. All right, Padilla at the belt. The 3-2 pitch coming up, and Vicente deals, swung on a ground ball to third. Blake is up with it across the diamond Deloney, and the inning is over. A missed opportunity, of course, for the D-backs to get a bucket full. They settle for 1. And at the end of half an inning, D-backs 1, Dodgers coming up. Opportunity to break the ball game open, failed to do that. So A.J. Hinch at 35 sits back to see if his young ball club can produce. Meanwhile, the Dodgers with a veteran team. It'll be Rafael Furcal, Matt Kemp, and Andre Ethier. Manny Ramirez hits cleanup, followed by Casey Blake. Then Orlando Hudson, followed by Russell Martin, and then James Loney, and the pitcher Vicente Padilla, who, by the way, made 37 pitches in the first inning. There were 13 foul balls. Yusmeiro Petit, he's from Maracaibo, Venezuela. His catcher is from Caracas, Venezuela. So they've come a long way to become a battery. He's an even 6, but he's a good 250, and he is only 25 come November. He's way off the plate of Furcal. Ball 1-1-0. Dodgers trying to get something started. Remember last night, an electrifying moment, back-to-back home runs, and then they were not heard from again. Furcal fouls it back, and the count 1-1 After those home runs, the Dodgers went 0 for 15 against the D-backs. The pitching of Boyer, Schlereth, Vasquez, and Gutierrez. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way to Rafael, hitting 255, and he whacks it foul down the right field line, back in amongst the fans. 1-2 the count. Furcal did not play last night. You can certainly understand. Flying home Sunday, the fires, his home in La Cañada evacuated. Family okay, but a tremendous shock. The 1-2 pitch on the way, lifted into right center, a trio, and going out and calling will be up in the right fielder after Roberts went pretty far out there. So Furcal, fly ball to shallow right, one away. Let's check the Arizona club defensively. Tracy and Roberts on the right side, Drew and Reynolds on the left, Parra, Young, and Upton in the outfield, and Montero handling Petit. Matt Kemp checking in at the plate. Matt, of course, had a wonderful August. For the year, hitting .314, 22 home runs, 86 runs batted in. In August, he had 9 home runs and 27 rounds batted in, and he just cracked his bat on a foul ball. So Matt will have to go back to the woodpile. He also scored 22 runs, so he was a one-man gang throughout the month. Dodgers wound up August, however, on a treadmill to nowhere. I mean, actually, they wound up August one game under 500. They were 14-15. However, they enjoyed a 5.5 game lead taking the field tonight. The Giants can't hurt them because the Giants lost a heartbreaker 1-0. And the Rockies are trying to win. And last we saw, the Rockies were freezing 7-2 in the 6th inning. So the strike one pitch, and Kemp lifts one into left center field and deep. On the run, it's running the wall. It's gone. I was just thinking how frustrating it must be to be A.J. Hinch. I mean, there is the 35-year-old manager of Arizona, makes the opposition pitcher make 37 pitches. They had the bases loaded with nobody out, and they were lucky to get one. And then Matt Kemp walks up and just takes one pitch to tie up the game, 1-1. For Matt, 4th straight game with a home run, and the Dodgers are really getting into the habit now. And the first pitch to Andre Ethier in for a strike. He is an amazing young talent. We were talking about Justin Upton. Well, you're looking at another one who has really been given great gifts. 5-point player for sure. Ethier swings right through one, and the count 0-2. Dodgers have homered at least once now in 8 straight games. Though we have a 1-1 tie in the first inning. Petit ready, comes back, and a awkward swing by Ethier. Almost hurt himself, I think, as he staggered across the plate and goes back to the dugout. So that thing really bothered him. He never had a good healthy swing, and down he goes. So 2 out, and Manny Ramirez coming up. Yusmeiro Petit has now given up 17 home runs. Manny hitting .310, but he has worn out Arizona ever since he put on a Dodger uniform. Last night he had a single and a home run, and he takes in the dirt. They say that Petit, who has gone through some bad times, has turned his form around and turns more his back to the hitter. The strike one pitch, the turn, the pitch, and it's in there, 0-2. When you look at Manny Ramirez with his 15 home runs, well over 300 home runs in his career, he'll be joined by Jim Thome tomorrow, each with over 500 home runs. Strike two pitch on the way. Manny lifts a drive to center, but playable. Young is right there and squeezes it for the out. But one swing, and that evens up all the flailing by the D-backs as Matt Kemp hits one into the seats, and at the end of an inning, it's the Dodgers 1 and the D-backs 1. Chad Tracy leading off the second inning takes ball one in a 1-1 tie. Matt Kemp one swing of the bat and his 87th run batted in, 23 home runs. Tracy takes a strike and that evens it up. The Chad hitting .236, 6 home runs, 34 runs batted in, and Padilla's next one grounded back a first, foul and on down the line. From the looks of things, had the ball been fair, I think Loney might have backhanded it. 1-2 the count to Chad Tracy. Though the D-backs in the first inning sent 7 men to the plate, Padilla made 37 pitches. There were 13 foul balls, 2 strikeouts, 2 walks, and a single off Padilla's leg. All of that for 1. And then Kemp walks up and adios. So it's 1-1 second inning. Padilla ready. Vicente comes back, and it is swung on and lifted to straightaway center, heading for Matt Kemp's glove. And with that, we have 1 away. That'll bring up the pitcher, Yusmeiro Petit. Dodgers going over the 3 million mark last night in attendance. Great tribute to the fans here in Southern California. Dodgers going over the 3 million mark for the 14th consecutive year. The breaking ball in for a strike to Petit, and the count 0-1. Petit, who is anything but petite at 250. No balls and 1 strike. Fouls off a fastball, 0-2. He has just 1 hit in 24 at bats. The only good thing for him he has made contact. He has only struck out 7 times in 25 plate appearances. 0-2 the count. Padilla ready, and Vicente comes back, and this one is strike 3 called, and that would be the 3rd strikeout for Padilla. So all of a sudden he's starting to throw strikes now, and the leadoff man, Stephen Drew, will be coming up. Drew walked in the 1st inning and came around to score the run. We were talking before about Padilla coming from Chinandega in Nicaragua, and what a bloody history for that small town. His pitch to Drew is lifted back a third, angling over as Rafael Furcal on the rim, and makes the catch for the 3rd out. So a complete reversal of form for Padilla. He retires the side in order, and at the end of an inning and a half, a 1-1 tie. Bottom of the 2nd inning, a 1-1 tie. Casey Blake followed by Orlando Hudson and then Russell Martin. Yusmeiro Petit's first pitch a little low, 1 ball and no strikes. Casey 0 for 4 last night, struggling a little bit for the last 7 games. In fact, for about 2 weeks he's hit 180, but he's still batting .272. Petit's next pitch, and that's down. 2-0 the count, pushed out in front of the plate by Miguel Montero. Blake with his 16 home runs facing Petit, who has given up 17 home runs on the one hit by Kemp. Now the 2-0 pitch on the way, and Casey swings, pops it up. Going out is Robertson. Calling. Coming in is Upton, and Upton has the easier play and makes the catch. So 1 away here in the 2nd inning. You know, the Dodgers' annual celebration of Hispanic culture, food, music, and baseball returns Saturday at Viva Los Dodgers, presented by Coca-Cola and Hyundai. Admission included with your ticket to the game. For tickets and more information, visit Dodgers.com/Viva or call 866-DODGERS. Orlando Hudson hitting .291. He has really been up and down. Orlando with that .291 batting average, but it's interesting to explore it as Petit delivers low and away, ball 1. Starting in April till the end of May, Hudson hit .332. Then suddenly from June 1 through July 11, he hit .195. And now he's recovered as he fouls it away. From the 12th of July to the present, he's hitting .315. So put it all together, and he's hitting .291. Orlando back up, hitting left-handed against Petit. Yusmero's 1-1 pitch is a fastball in there, 1-2. Paul Emmel is the plate umpire, calling balls and strikes tonight. Paul's been in the big leagues 10.5 years, out of Michigan. 1-2 pitch to Orlando Hudson, off the plate, 2-2 the count. You may remember the name Emmel last year. He was one of the umpires in the division series between the Dodgers and the Cubs. 2-2 pitch on the way, ground ball down to shortstop. Stephen Drew is up with it, throws him out on a very close play. So 2 down in the second inning, and the batter will be Russell Martin. Drew came up and the ball just didn't have a lot of steam behind it. Hudson always hustling, made it very close, especially batting left-handed, but Drew got away with it. 2 down, and Russell Martin, who was the leadoff man last night and back to a more familiar position, hitting 7th tonight. He went 1 for 5, but he has really been struggling, and Martin takes a strike. A little more than 2 weeks now, he's hit 183. In August, he hit 239 after having a big July, and down he goes on a pitch up and in. 1 ball and 1 strike. So Martin ducks under a high inside changeup. Of course, when you factor in the fact that Martin is catching every day, the fatigue certainly has to be reflected in the batting average. 1-1 pitch on the way. Martin holds up, low, ball 2. I mean, just look at it. He hits 317 in July. Then the dog days of August, he hits only 239. That kind of figures. 2-1 pitch to Russell. Petit comes back. Fastball flared into right field. Roberts a diving try, but no play. And it's a base hit to Russell Martin. So Ryan Roberts gives it his best shot. And Martin at first with a looping single to right. And that'll bring up James Loney. Roberts certainly an all-out try and a head-first dive. Playing for Rusty Rayal last night, Roberts was in left field. Pretty handy to be able to play those 2 positions. So Martin is at first, held on by Chad Tracy. And here is James Loney. Loney, starting about the 4th of August, hit the skids, and he's hit 176. James has a look at a strike. So that punished his batting average. He's now hitting 274, 9 home runs, 75 runs batted in. We have a 1-1 tie. D-backs sent 7 men to the plate and scratched out 1 run. Matt Kemp homered in the bottom of the first. Loney has a look at a pitch down. So 1 ball and 1 strike to count to James. Yusmeiro Petit with a record of 3-8. 0-2 against the Dodgers this year. His earned run average this year against the Dodgers, 10. Throw to first. Martin jumps back on the bag. Martin has stolen 9. Loney hitting in front of Vicente Padilla, and Petit taking plenty of time. D-backs and Dodgers, same totals, 1 run, 2 hits. Petit delivers, fastball swung on and missed. 1-2 the count to James Loney. Loney with 9 home runs, all on the road. James had a big blast in Colorado. He's also 3rd on the club in RBIs with 75. Petit set, looks over his left shoulder at Martin. Back to Loney. And he hits 1 foul down the left field line out of play. Though James is still there. 1-2 the count. One thing about Loney that certainly makes you realize he is a good hitter, never mind slumps. Anytime you have a hitter who has walked more than he has struck out, and when you're talking about 129 games, you have a guy with a pretty good knowledge of the strike zone. Admittedly, Petit has him now 1-2. Yasmeri delivers, and that's slapped into left field. Base hit. So a nice bit of hitting by James Loney. Russell Martin moves to second with 2 out, back-to-back singles, and that will bring up Vicente Padilla. Now Padilla, having spent a couple of years over in the American League with Texas, he had just 2 at-bats this year, and he struck out 1 of the 2. Then he joined the Dodgers. He had 1 at-bat in Colorado. He sacrificed with a good bunt, and he also struck out. So Petit trying to get out of a spot of trouble here, and the big guy's first pitch is flared over the head of Tracy, picked up by Roberts. Here comes Martin, and he is scored. Over to third goes Loney, and the Dodgers lead 2-1. Vicente Padilla just hit a little flare over the head of first baseman Chad Tracy. Martin scoring with 2 out, and Loney takes third. Tracy trying to get under it. Roberts backed up, then had to settle himself for a strong throw, and scoring just by the swipe tag of Montero is Russell Martin. So the Dodgers get lucky. They get 2 flares in the inning and get a go-ahead run. So Martin hit one off the end of the bat to right. Padilla knocks one into right field. His first hit since 2007, and it's 2-1 Dodgers as Furcal takes a strike. By the way, for Vicente Padilla, that is his first run batted in since 2005. He'll take it. Dodgers 2, D-backs 1, and Furcal trying to keep it going. Now Yasmero delivers in the dirt. Nice block by Montero. So in the inning, after Blake flied to right and Hudson grounded to short, Martin hit one off the end of the stick and dunked it into right field. Loney slapped one on a line into left field for a base hit, and Padilla kind of banjoed one over the head of Chad Tracy. The 1-1 pitch as Loney comes down the line from third. Petit delivers, and is a line drive, but it's right at Chris Young. So Furcal hits it on the button. So the line drives are caught, and the flares drop for a hit. And the Dodgers take a 2-1 lead.
It's time to crack the Clubhouse Combo for a chance to win a baseball prize pack. Tonight's winning combination, 28, 15, 32. Enter now on KCAL9.com, brought to you by Wingstop.
Dodgers leading 2-1 as we go to the third inning. Ryan Roberts has to be so frustrated First of all, he tried to get under the flare by Martin and couldn't do it. Tried to recover behind Tracy on the little bloop single by Padilla, and then made the throw to the plate just late. Well, he's hitting .296 up there on an 0-1 count. Padilla comes back and a ground ball to Orlando Hudson, who just waits for it to come to him and then throws him out. So Roberts rolls away, 1 down, and the batter will be Justin Upton. Been a long time since Vicente Padilla wore a Diamondback uniform. It was 1999, but I still remember Buck Showalter praising him, saying that he is an extremely talented pitcher. And when the Dodgers acquired him from Texas, several scouts told us that he still has the great arm and great stuff. His fastball is low, ball 1. Padilla, by the way, will be 32 the end of September. Now the 1-0 pitch on the way. Vicente deals, and it's a strike. Upton, a perfect bunt single up along third in the first inning, loaded the bases with nobody out, and then Reynolds struck out, Montero struck out, Parra singled off Padilla's leg for a base hit and a run. The next one is strike, 1 and 2 to Justin, hitting .313, 23 home runs, 72 runs batted in. Since the 25th of July, he has really been red hot. Takes off the plate, hitting .420. He's hit in 9 straight. He has multi-hits in 10 games. 2-2 pitch on the way, and Upton takes ball 3. By the way, I don't expect you to remember, but when we were on the road, I think we were in Colorado, we were talking about the new helmet that's been designed, and we talked about the comments of major league players. Some thought it was bulky, uncomfortable, didn't look good. A couple of fellas, however, said they would wear it. The pitch hit foul down the line. Well, you remember David Wright was hit in the head by a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. He has recovered. He's playing for the New York Mets. And Wright, prior to being beamed, said, if I have an opportunity to wear that new helmet, I will wear it. Well, let it be noted in the minutes of the last meeting that David Wright is playing tonight in Colorado, and he is wearing the new helmet. 3-2 pitch, fouled at the plate. It is bulky. The earpiece over in Wright's case, or in Upton's case, the earpiece covering the left ear, which is facing the pitcher. Where in this helmet, it's just covering. With the new helmet, it's very bulky. But it said it can withstand a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, and you'll be okay. 3-2 pitch is swung on, line drive over a leap of Rafael Furcal into the gap. Up with it is Matt Kemp, and steaming into second base goes Justin Upton, who now has 5 consecutive hits against the Dodgers. He had an infield single when Randy Wolf fell down last night. Then he hit a home run. Then he doubled. Tonight he has a bunt single and another double. So Upton at second base with 1 out, and Reynolds and Montero, who were so frustrated, coming up. Reynolds struck out with the bases loaded. Montero struck out with the bases loaded. And here they are with yet another opportunity, this time to tie up the game. Padilla ready. Reynolds waits. And the first pitch punched on the ground to Hudson. If nothing else, that gets the man over, but that's not what Reynolds hits cleanup for. So 2 down. Upton now at third. So for Reynolds, he has failed to really do anything with 2 golden opportunities, and that slows down the D-backs. Miguel Montero, well, he has a 5-game hitting streak. He's been red hot. He struck out with the bases loaded. Montero hitting .295, 13 home runs, 50 runs batted in. Padilla looks in to get a sign to Martin. Upton a short lead at third. Padilla just staring at him, now to the plate, and Montero takes inside, and on his knees is Russell Martin to block it. Padilla checking him, of course, with a runner at third. He did not have a wild pitch pitching in Colorado, but Padilla did have 4 wild pitchers while he was with Texas. Now the 1-0 pitch on the way. Vicente set, delivers. This one's high and away. So he's been down and in, up and away, and a 2-ball, no strike count to Miguel Montero. So the kid from Caracas, big left-hand hitting catcher. 2-1 in favor of the Dodgers. We're in the top of the third, 2 out. Upton short lead at third. Padilla just stares at him. Now the 2-0 pitch, and Montero fouls it away. 2-1. You could see Montero, he was trying to time a changeup, and he got out in front of it and just rolled it over to the dugout. The 2-1 the count. He moved his hands a little bit like Manny Ramirez almost to try and stay back, but he still couldn't do it. 2-1 to the left-hand hitter. Padilla eyeballing Upton. Right-hander's 2-1 pitch, and that's a ground ball to Loney, who backs up for a hop. He'll do it himself. So the D-backs leave another man in scoring position. And at the end of 2.5 innings, it's the Dodgers 2 and the D-backs 1. Vicente Padilla sitting in the Dodger dugout, pouring water on his left hand, running his fingers through his hair to get a little relief from the heat. Rick Honeycutt comes over to talk to him, and whatever was said, Padilla had a pretty good grin. However, the pitch count is his enemy. He has worked 3 innings and he has made 60 pitches. And of course, there's no way he's going to be around that long. That would make a 180 pitch game. So Padilla is leading 2-1, bottom of the third. And it'll be Matt Kemp, Andre Ethier, and Manny Ramirez. The bunt by Kemp up along third. Bare hand effort by Reynolds, and the throw is too late. Oh, Matt Kemp can do it all. So Matt Kemp, perhaps inspired by Justin Upton's bunt, does the same thing and beats Reynolds. So he has a home run and a single. Nobody out, with Ethier, Ramirez, and Blake coming up. So the Dodgers 2 runs, 5 hits. The D-backs 1 run and 3 hits. Ethier with his 27 home runs, 87 runs batted in. Andre, the leader on the Dodgers with home runs, RBIs, slugging percentage. He's had quite a year. Throw to first, and Matt Kemp back on the bag. And talking about Kemp doing everything, which he does, he has also stolen 28 out of 35. So Ethier waiting. Petit out of a stretch, turns, throws to first. Kemp just steps back on the bag. If you're wondering, we mentioned it earlier, Jim Thome will join the Dodgers tomorrow. He went from Minnesota to Chicago today, pick up his gear, and he'll be here in uniform tomorrow night. John Garland, recently acquired, will pitch against his old team Thursday as Ethier take low. 1 ball and no strikes. So John Garland moves across from the visiting clubhouse to the Dodger clubhouse, which is a big break for a local boy to come home. 1-0 the count. Dodgers 2, D-backs 1. We had 5 home runs last night, all 5 with the bases empty, and then Kemp hit a solo home run tonight, and there he goes. Off-speed pitch for a strike, no chance. He's stolen it. He was very fortunate that he also was running on a changeup. So Montero really had the handcuffs on. Kemp had a great jump, and you might get him on a fastball, but not on a changeup. So Matt putting on a show now. He has stolen 29 out of 38. So Andre Ethier trying to pick him up. 1 ball and 1 strike. Petit down 2-1 in the third, delivers. Ethier a fly ball to right field. Upton will make the catch, and Kemp will fake because Upton throws well. And the throw comes in and hits something. Caroms away down the left field line. Here comes Matt Kemp to score. We'll have to take a look on the videotape to see who was hit by the ball. Upton gunned a one-hopper in there, and all of a sudden it veered to the foul line in left field. And Kemp was not going to go to third. Upton cranked it up, fired, and the ball might very well have hit Kemp. And then Karam way down the left field line, and Matt scored. So they have to explain the presence of Kemp, and it'll be an error. Yeah, the ball hit him for sure, as Kemp was going back to second base. So here's Manny, and he take low, ball 1. So Kemp, a bunt single, steals second, is hit by the throw, and comes around to score. And he is a happy huffer in the Dodger dugout, and they lead 3-1. Petit's next pitch is fouled away by Manny. So quite an inning for Matt Kemp. You talk about running. A bunt single, a stolen base, and you hit by the right fielder going back to the bag, and you get up and keep on going. Talk about having to be in shape on a night where it was 84 at the start of the game. 1-1 fastball is low, ball 2, 2-1 to Manny Ramirez. Ramirez flied to center in the first inning. So Upton draws the error, and the Dodgers pick up the run. 2 balls and 1 strike. That was a terrific line T.J. Somers was writing about Manny Ramirez, and Ramirez had said to Simers, you didn't see the home run I hit in Cincinnati. Here's the 2-1 pitch on the way, and Manny takes ball 3. And Manny said, my home runs are like my money. They're deferred. Pretty good quip. He has 15 home runs, 49 runs batted in. Now the 3-1 pitch coming up. And that swung on and missed, and boy, did he overswing on that pitch. 3-2. Casey Blake waiting on deck. And now finally sitting alongside Juan Pierre. Matt Kemp has caught his breath, but I mean to tell you, that was a very tough bit of running in this heat. Fastball is sliced down the right field line, foul. That will go out of play. Upton over to take a look. So 3-2 the count to Manny. 1 out, 1 in. Dodgers building a little bit of a picket fence on the scoreboard. 1 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the third. Upton, of course, somewhat embarrassed. The odds of gunning a one-hopper into second base and hitting the runner to give up a run. 3-2 the count to Ramirez. Petit ready, delivers a drive into right center. Upton, however, has a play and makes the catch. 2 down, and the batter will be Casey Blake. You know, Friday the Dodgers celebrate Military Appreciation Night, fireworks presented by Farmer John, and an All-American My Town with unlimited food and a free Dodgertown USA t-shirt. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/sit-in-my-town or call 866-DODGERS. So here's Casey, fly to right, squirts one, coming down to get it is Petit, throws just in time. So Blake hits back to the box. Quite an inning for Matt Kemp. He's still not quite ready to go into center field. And you know, they're talking about what's in the air these days. And at the end of 3-1 Dodgers. To 1 as we go to the 4th inning, and you can certainly understand the fact that Matt Kemp was the last Dodger to take his position in the field. He might be 24 years old, he might be 25 the end of September, but he was really weary after that rather explosive 3rd inning and his trip around the bases. But you know, we've all been warned about the fire and the impurities in the air and how difficult to breathe. And even if you're 24, 25, that was some kind of an inning. And Matt is still not 100% guaranteed. Meanwhile, Gerardo Parra, who singled off Padilla's leg, and he's up there with a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Dodgers 3, D-backs 1. Tell you one thing, Petit is certainly not very lucky tonight either. Foul ball. Gerardo Parra is only 22, out of the Dominican. Signed 5 years ago, so he was barely 17. Put up big numbers in the minor leagues, but not power. Ground ball, base hit to left field. So Parra is 2 for 2. And the batter will be Chris Young. Our CarMax text question is simply this: which player recently acquired do you think will make the biggest impact down the stretch? Would it be John Garland? Would it be the absent Jim Thome, who will be here tomorrow? Or would it be Ronnie Belliard, who homered in his first at-bat as a Dodger? Text your answer, 86212 on your cell. Be interested to hear your thinking. Here's Young. A strike, 0-1. Then Chad Tracy on deck. Young grounded to third in the first inning, and he's checking with Glenn Sherlock, the third base coach. Young struggling, hitting just 190. Little foul ball. For Chris Young, he signed a big contract with the D-backs just about when the Dodgers were over in Arizona. It was April of last year. He signed a 6-year deal for a lot of money. And I don't know if it's the pressure of the contract or whatever, but he's really struggling as soon as he inked the document. Ball one. And you can imagine Arizona management saying, this kid looks so good. After that big 2007 when he had 32 home runs, A.J. Hinch taking over for Bob Melvin. Then you have to believe if people like Young had done much better, Melvin might still be there. 2-2. Vicente Padilla making pitches. Retired the side in order only in the second inning. Made 60 pitches the first 3 innings. 2-2. Foul ball outside of third. Cracked bat. Didn't break, but you could hear it twang up here. The Chris walking back to get a new bat. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Chris Young. Young was struggling so badly, they sent him to AAA. I mean, he had been in Tucson in 2006, then came up to the D-backs that year and stayed with him, and things got so bad they had to send him out. They've called him back, and he has struggled even more than when they sent him out. In his last 15 games, he has 3 hits in his last 38 at-bats. So the big question in Arizona, what's wrong with Chris Young? Meanwhile, Parra at first, nobody out. 2-2. Slider off the plate. Padilla, remember, opened up the game with back-to-back walks. Two walks, 3 strikeouts. 3-2. We'll watch Parra. He's not going. And it's popped in the air, foul behind the plate. Martin coming back to the base of the screen and makes the play. So Young fouls out to Martin. Holding at first is Parra. There was no reason to run Parra for a couple of reasons. First of all, Young has struck out 100 times. And the other reason not to run him, the fact that Young had only grounded into 2 double plays. So with all of that, Young fouls out. And now Chad Tracy. Tracy hitting .235. And he is another fella, when you examine closely, he started off as a ball of fire and then had bad knees. And a strike, 0-1. Back in 2005, Chad Tracy looked like $1 million. He hit .308. He had 27 home runs. He had 72 RBIs. Next year, 20 home runs and 80 RBIs. And then the knees got him. 0-1. Foul back, 0-2. The last couple of years, Tracy has not been able to spend the entire year with the D-backs. Last year he had to go to Tucson for a while. This year he had to go to Reno. The big problem, as we mentioned, is knees. 0-2. And that's going to get away from Martin. So down to second base easily goes Parra. 1 out, 1-2 the count to Chad Tracy. Gerardo Parra in scoring position. Breaking ball in the dirt, so we figure for sure that'll be a wild pitch. So Tracy now trying to pick him up. Chad, 6 home runs, 34 runs batted in. Out of Charlotte, North Carolina, went to East Carolina University. One and two. 2-2. For Tracy, talking about his knees, he had tendonitis in the left knee. Things got so bad they had to inject a gel-like substance between the bones. Then the right knee flared up and he had to have surgery on the right knee. So you wonder why his numbers went down. And he lifts one to Kemp. Matt has it on his screen, picks it off. Staying at second base is Parra, and coming up Petit. You know, you can celebrate Manny's magical night with his very own bobblehead pack. You receive an original bobblehead, tickets to 3 Sunday games, and a seat September the 16th when the first 50,000 fans receive Manny's curtain call bobblehead. Buy now at Dodgers.com/specials or call 866 Dodgers. Hello, Mr. Moon. Did we really put men up there? A strike to Petit. Dodgers 3, D-backs 1. We're in the 4th. Oh, and 2. Good movement on that fastball. It almost acted like a cutter. It just ran away from the swing. 0-2. When Padilla made his debut in Colorado, I remember the Dodgers said he's a ground ball pitcher. He'll get a lot of ground balls. Well, that day that he pitched in Colorado, he did not get a lot of ground balls. However, tonight he has kept the ball basically on the ground, except for Tracy, who has 2 fly balls to center. 1-2 the count. Foul back. Good fastball. Yusmeira Petit struck out in the 2nd inning. 3 runs, 5 hits for the Dodgers, including a home run and a bunt single by Matt Kemp. 1 run, 4 hits for the D-backs. Gerardo Parra singled up Padilla's leg, and he also singled and is at second base now with 2 out. Slow breaking ball hit even slower to Blake. Casey winds up, and that's that. So a leadoff single by Parra is wasted, and at the end of 3.5 innings, Vicente walks off, leading 3-1. no doubt about that. You also know that he can bunt and run like the wind, which he did. Of course, you also know he's a base-stealing threat, and he succeeded in that endeavor. And then he got in the way of a strong throw. And after it hit him and carried him way off to the left field foul line, Matt was able to get home and beat the throw. One exhausted young center fielder. And I'm sure he is still effective. So Matt Kemp has certainly come of age. All of those tools have apparently sharpened from last year to this, and the Dodgers have themselves quite a prize. Yusmeiro Petit will face Hudson, Martin, and Loney. And when you look at it, it's 3-1 Dodgers, but Petit is very, very unlucky. Strike. First of all, he gave up the home run to Kemp. Nothing unlucky about that. But 2 of the 3 singles in the second inning were just little banjo jobs into right field. And then we just showed you what happened with Matt Kemp. So it could easily be still a 1-1 tie. And there's a flare down the left field line. Hits the chalk. So Hudson is on his way for 2. Strong throw. He's in there. So again, the Dodgers get a big break as Hudson hits a little pop fly down the left field line. Far up. No way he could get there, and the ball just does hit the foul line. So the Dodgers have 6 hits. Hudson's 31st double, and now Martin, Loney, and Padilla trying to move him around. Martin got a pop fly single in the second inning. And there's nothing a fly ball about that thing. Up into the wall at the 375 sign. However, Hudson stayed at second base. Maybe he was afraid he'd get hit by the throw. Why he went that far on a ball to right field, you only ask Orlando. No chance now. In fact, he'd better get back. So Hudson maybe misjudged, maybe he's out of breath. Again, remember, the air is certainly impure. There was an old line from a Broadway show about there was something in the air in Boston. There usually is. Well, there is something in the air in Los Angeles. And it's not just air. And you can ask Matt Kemp. Ball 1 to James Loney. Loney single to left in the second inning. Petit has allowed 6 assorted base hits, and the Dodgers lead 3-1. Ball 2. They're in the 9th inning in Colorado, and the Rockies are leading the Mets 8-3. Among other things in that game tonight, Jason Giambi made his Rockies debut as a pinch hitter in the 7th inning, came up with a bases loaded and walked to drive in a run. 2-0 to James. Ball 3. Petit shaking his head. It's been that kind of a night. Of course, all these fellows are great competitors, but when things go against you the way they have for Petit, it's really tough to brush off the amateur's psychological note of this just can't be my night. They're not allowed to think that way. James 3-0 might swing and does, and pops it up in foul ground. Reynolds in front of the Dodger dugout. So Torrey trying to help Loney, trying to get him out of the dumps, lets him swing 3-0, and he fouls out. So 2 down. Of course, Joe, having been a successful hitter, a wonderful hitter, but he also knows about slumps. so he tried to help Loney for sure. He also has a pitcher coming up, so it was a good idea to let Loney go 3-0. Padilla banjoed one over the head of Chad Tracy for a base hit and a run batted in back in the second inning. Strike one to Vicente. When he came up back in 1999, he was the 7th native of Nicaragua to play in the major leagues. The most famous, Dennis Martinez, who was always called El Presidente. Padilla comes from a big family. He's the oldest of 7 children. He has 4 sisters and a couple of brothers. His father died when he was 15, so his mom really had to scratch out a living. She sold beans and rice to try to keep her family together. But down there in Chinandega, with the Civil War with the Contras and the Sandinistas, was an awful area. Big swing comes up empty. That's it. Dodgers leave Hudson. And at the end of 4, Dodgers 3, D-backs 1. Dodger Baseball on KCAL 9 is brought to you by GMC. We are professional grade. By Carl's Jr. Try a Carl's Jr. $6 burger made with 100% Black Angus beef. And by CarMax, the way car buying should be. Dodgers lead the D-backs 3-1 as we go to the 5th inning. It'll be the top of the order for Arizona. Stephen Drew, Ryan Roberts, and Justin Upton. Now remember, Padilla went 5 in Colorado. So we'll see how he goes in the 5th inning tonight. He's made 81 pitches in 4 innings, and that's too many. Stephen Drew walked and scored the D-back run. Last time up, popped to shortstop. Stephen 0 for 1, hitting .261. And a strike. Drew is far more explosive in personality than J.D. Comebacker. 1 away. So Padilla takes care of Drew. Now Ryan Roberts. One of the problems that Vicente Padilla has had tonight, talking about the fact he had made 81 pitches before Drew. The D-backs have fouled off 24 of his pitches. And those foul balls begin to add up. 24 is a lot in 4 innings. High fly ball to deep right. Back goes Ethier to the track. So Roberts pins Andre Ethier to the right field wall. 2 down. Nice play by Andre. And the batter will be Justin Upton. Upton has a streak going. Last night, his last 3 at-bats, he singled, homered, and doubled. First 2 at-bats tonight, bunted for a base hit and doubled. So he has 5 consecutive hits as he checks in, hitting .315. Strike. Justin just turned 22, the end of August. Strike, 0-2. Coming out of high school, there was tremendous pressure on him because Baseball America had him all world. Got him. So it didn't take long. 3 pitches. Upton's history. Down go the D-backs. He's annoyed at Paul Emmel. And at the end of 4 1/2, 3-1 Dodgers. Corona and Corona Light, official sponsors of the Timeout. Relax responsibly. We're heading to the bottom of the 5th inning. The Dodgers leading the D-backs 3-1. The Dodgers, in all honesty, have been extremely fortunate. With any kind of a break, Petit would be in a 1-1 tie. He'll be pitching to Rafael Furcal, Matt Kemp, and Andre Ethier. Furcal flied to right, lined out to center. The D-backs, however, shorten up at the corners. That's a strike. 0-1. 3 years ago, Rafael had 50 or more extra base hits, 30 or more stolen bases. That was a big year for him. He became only the 6th player in L.A. Dodger history to do that. Runs up in the box and hits a flare, caught by Roberts. So Ryan dying to catch one of those dead birds, and he finally caught one. 1 away. Nice play by Ryan Roberts. 1 out in the 5th. And here comes Matt Kemp. Matt homered in the 1st and then put on an exhibition in the 3rd. Bunt single, stole 2nd. Hit by Justin Upton's throw to second base and scored. Breaking ball, good curveball for a strike. Well, the Rockies took advantage of the Giants. Giants lost a tough one, 1-0 to Cole Hamels and the Phils, and the Rockies beat the Mets 8-3. So in the big wild card race in the National League in the Western Division, the Rockies now lead the Mets by 1 game. And the Mets pitch Brad Penny against the Giants pitch Brad Penny against the Phillies. And the Rockies go after the Mets in the second game of that series. 1-2 to Matt. Left-hander Scott Elbert throwing in the Dodger bullpen. Remember, Padilla went 5 in Colorado, and we're wondering about how much longer he'll pitch. He's made 87 pitches. So we'll see. Foul back. A round of applause. Someone down below made a fine catch of the foul ball. One and two the count. And Kemp hits a high fly ball, but very playable. And Chris Young makes the catch. So we have 2 down in the 5th inning. And the batter will be Andre Ethier, who struck out and flied to right. When the D-backs come up in the 6th inning, they'll have Mark Reynolds, Miguel Montero, and Gerardo Parra. Andre struck out, flied to right. A strike. Dodgers, one way or another, have not been retired in order. 2 out here in the 5th inning. They lead the D-backs 3-1. Andre did not have a good swing in the 1st inning, and he did not have a good swing just then. 0-2. One thing about the D-backs, they've kind of turned it around. You know, the first 8 games between the Dodgers and Arizona, the Dodgers won 6 of the 8. That'll do it for Ethier, and for the first time tonight, Dodgers go down 1-2-3, and at the end of 5, 3-1 Dodgers.
Set kind of a record, and I realize that's a long time ago, but they played the Pittsburgh Pirates a triple header. They not only won all 3 games, the Dodger pitchers all pitched complete games. And believe it or not, that triple header was the first of 3 to be played. Let's go back to this one.
Well, Vicente Padilla with Scott Elbert throwing back of him. Tries it in the 6th. He's made 87 pitches and a 1-ball, no strike count on Mark Reynolds. 1-1 to count to Mark. He has struck out 178 times, struck out over 200 times last year. He'll probably do it again this year. However, nobody would turn him down. Now when you can hit 40 home runs, drive in 90, and hit in the 270s. With the old manager's theory, oh, if he could only cut down on his strikeouts. 2-2. The crowd is not watching the game. It's watching an airplane, a little paper airplane, which is floating out towards right field. That's amazing. They're still cheering the airplane. There it is. It must be radio controlled. I mean, that's not like folding a piece of paper. But it is quite a distraction. See if somebody brings it home. No. Wow. It's a little air show. I tell you one thing, though, it is a nasty thought. If it's a distraction to a hitter, a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, he needs complete concentration. So although it's cute, it's nice to see for a moment or two. Well, Padilla's going to go back to work. Fouled away. Still 2-2. It's out there in bleacher land. Dodgers lead 3-1. Every time the plane maddeningly finally hits the fence in front of the Arizona dugout, and it's a good idea to destroy it. That would become a very bad habit here in the ballpark. Let's face it. It's tough enough with beach balls, but something like that could really be destructive. 2-2. They don't really ask much of you. They just say, please don't interfere with the game. And although that was a novelty and it was enjoyable for a moment, could become a pain in the neck. Fouled away upstairs. Still 2-2 to Mark. So Vicente Padilla on a pitch count for sure now. Getting over 90, coming close to 100. Dodgers lead 3-1. Top of the 6th. Missed with the fastball. However, he registers 95 on the gun. So he's still got a little gas in the tank. A little. And strike 3 called. So Reynolds strikes out a second time. Nothing really new there. 5 strikeouts for Vicente Padilla. And the batter is Miguel Montero, who struck out and grounded out. And now Joe Torre, I think, figures, okay, that's enough. He's been pushing it. He was impressive pitching to Reynolds. And Furcal comes in now. And Vicente, adios. Buenas noches. And nice job. Allows 1 run, 4 hits, strikes out 5, gets a standing ovation after making 97 pitches, and we'll be back. Jason Repko just called back up, and Randy Wolf. Here's a look at our CarMax text message voting so far. Remember, we asked, which player recently acquired do you think will make the biggest impact down the stretch? Would it be Ronnie Belliard? Will it be Jim Tomei, who'll be here tomorrow? Or will it be John Garland? Well, so far, 57% of you say Ronnie Belliard will make the biggest impact down the stretch. Text your answer, 86212 on your cell. Vicente Pazia, 97 pitches and 1 earned run, goes out leading 3-1. And Scott Elbert working now on Miguel Montero and gets a strike. Elbert out of Joplin, Missouri, lives in Seneca, Missouri, and he was a #1 pick by the Dodgers 5 years ago. 0-1. And another strike. 0-2. And Montero a little unhappy about that. Miguel batting .294. He and Reynolds each struck out with the bases loaded, and they each made out with a runner at second base. Bouncer up the middle that will find its way into center field. So Montero extends his little hitting streak to 6 in a row, and the batter will be Gerardo Parra. Hit #1 of Elbert, hit #5 for the D-backs. Scott Elbert is 6'1" and 210, working on Parra. Gerardo hitting .288, is 2 for 2. Singled off Padilla's leg to drive in a run, and led off the 4th inning with a single. Fastball fouled away. 0-1. Fastball away. Basically, for Elbert, good fastball, clocked as high as 96. Curveball, kind of a circle change and a slider. 1 ball and 1 strike to count to Gerardo Parra. Fastball. 1-2 the count to Parra. Fastball missed. Elbert is well put together, 6'1", 210. In fact, in high school, he was a top running back in the state, scored 36 touchdowns. Dodgers extremely high on him, gave him a lot of money 5 years ago. Whoops. Did he swing? No, says third base umpire Bruce Dreckman. Elbert had physical problems, tendonitis in the shoulder, arthroscopic surgery, torn labrum, scar tissue had to be removed. So that's why you haven't heard of him before. But with all of that behind him, he's only 24. Parra fouls it, and it's still 3-2. Elbert was at Chattanooga before they called him up. 3-2. And the fastball is off the plate, so a very good at bat for Gerardo Parra. So the tying runs are aboard now as Chris Young comes up. Chris Young grounded to third and fouled out. He has 7 home runs, 28 runs batted in. Young 0 for 2 tonight, so he's 3 for 39 as Rick Honeycutt is on the phone to the bullpen. Dropped in nicely, that hard slider. He throws that slider 87, 88. 0-1 the count. Ronald Belisario gets up in the Dodger bullpen. 1-1. Dodgers 3 runs, 6 hits. Diamondbacks 1 run, 5 hits. And we're in the 6th inning. We mentioned the fact that the first 8 games between these two teams, the Dodgers won 6 of the 8. In the last 4, the Diamondbacks have won 3 of the 4. Joe Torre's team really started to stop scoring, and in the first 8 games, the Arizona bullpen, their earned run average was almost 8, but in the last 4 games, Hinch's bullpen has an ERA of 1.2. So the D-backs fighting Matt Kemp and company. They have a 5-game hitting streak on the line. 1-1 the count to Young. Strike. Another hard slider. And down goes Young. So he strikes out for the first time tonight, but he has 101 strikeouts now. And Elba just threw it right by him. So 2 out in the inning, and the batter Chad Tracy is due up, and they will go to the bench. Rusty Ryle, a right-hand batter who played second base last night. Rusty hit a home run in the 10th inning to break the tie last evening. And of course, Rusty will be remembered certainly in these parts, not only as a fine young ball player, but the fact that he was the fella who unfortunately hit the line drive that struck Hiroki Kuroda on the side of the head. Breaking ball, strike. By the way, Kuroda, we're happy to say, threw 62 pitches over 5 innings in his minor league rehab start tonight in San Bernardino. That's wonderful news. Fouled away. So Ryle now in a hole, 0-2. Rusty's father played in the big leagues. Ryle last night 1 for 5, the home run. Fouled away. Rusty's out of Ponca City in Oklahoma. One time many years ago, the Dodgers had a farm club in Ponca City, but long time ago. 0-2 the count. And a ground ball into left field for a base hit. Charging Ramirez, but he won't have a play. Montero will score. So the D-backs get on the board, tighten things up as Montero brings it in, and the Dodger lead is 3-2. So Rusty comes up with a clutch single to left to pick up a run. Taking second is Parr, and now we're waiting to see about a hitter for Petit. So with 1 out, Montero singled, Parr a walk. With 2 out, Ryle singles. John Hester, a young catcher, will be coming off the bench. Hester was called up from Reno the very end of August, and in his first major league at bat, John Hester had a pinch hit 2-run home run off Wilton Lopez of the Astros. And here John now is asked to do something and at least get his club tied. So with Joe Torre coming out of the dugout, Ronald Belisario is down in the pen, and it will certainly not be a surprise now if they bring in Belisario. In fact, here he comes. So with Belisario coming in and Elbert coming out, we'll be back. Dodger Baseball on KCAL 9 is brought to you by Lexus, who invite you to the Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event. Hurry, sale ends September 7th. And by Bud Light Lime, the drinkability of Bud Light with the refreshing taste of lime. 2 on, 2 out, 3-2 Dodgers. Belisario facing John Hester, the pinch hitter. And a strike. Hester came off the bench last night to go up against Hung-Chi Kuo, who just blew him away with fastballs. Now it's Belisario going after him. Hester's a big boy, 6'4", 210, and went to school at Stanford. Another strike. We told you he had that dramatic pinch hit 2-run home run in his first major league at bat. Parra, who's out there at second base, also homered in his first major league at bat. 0-2. And a fly ball. Manny on the run. Kemp on the run. It's going to land between them. In comes the tying run. Stopping at third is Ryall on a fly ball single by Hester as Parra brings it in, and we have a 3-3 tie. So Hester drops one into left center. Ryall goes all the way to third as Parra brings it in. So the D-backs, who have improved dramatically against the Dodgers, last night were down, came back, tied it up, won in extra innings. Now the batter is Stephen Drew. So the runs in the inning are charged to Elbert. Remember, we gave you a note about Stephen Drew earlier, about even though he's been slugging and struggling, he has come up with some very key base hits with runners in scoring position. And he's got that spot right now. 1-1. So Belisario gives up the fly ball single, and the D-backs have 3 singles and a walk here in the 6th to get even. Drew is 9 for 18 with a runner in scoring position, and he has one now. In that particular spot, he has a home run, 2 triples, a double, and 13 runs batted in. So right now he has Ryall at third in scoring position, Hester at first. 3-3, and we're in the 6th. In the dirt, short hop nicely and blocked by Martin. That could easily have been a wild pitch for a run. Belisario has 3 wild pitches. Interesting too for the Dodgers, so near and yet so far, both Rusty Ryall and John Hester got base hits on no ball, 2 strike counts. Foul back. Stephen Drew, 26 years old. Big at bat for him right now. Deuce is wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 in, 2 on. Ground ball, foul. Earlier we were talking about, this day in baseball, September 1. September 1 of last year was really remarkable. It was rare. There were 2 cycles the same day. Stephen Drew hit for the cycle for Arizona, and Adrian Beltre did it. Ball 3. The only other time in baseball history 2 different men hit for the cycles on the same day. September the 17th, 1920. Bobby Veach and George Burns. All right, 3-2, so Hester goes from first. Ground foul. In the inning, Reynolds struck out, and after 97 pitches, Padilla was lifted. Scott Elbert gave up a single to Montero, a walk to Parra. He struck out Young. Then Rial got a base hit to drive in a run. They brought in Belisario, and Hester got a base hit to tie it up. And that is ball 4 to load the bases. So now Rick Honeycutt trying to help out Belisario, and the batter will be Ryan Roberts. For Vicente Padilla, all of his hard work kind of goes down the drain. Of course, being a veteran pitcher, he knows about that. Ryan Roberts has walked, grounded out, flied to right, and coming up with the bases loaded and 2 out against Belisario. Has he ever faced Belisario? Yes, and he is 0 for 2 against him. So Drew at first, Hester at second, Rial at third. 3-3 in the 6th inning. Ground ball to the hole. Up with it is Furcal to Hudson, and they're out of the inning. So that's the 2nd time in 6 innings the D-backs have left the bases loaded, but they do tie up the game. And at the end of 5 1/2, a 3-3 tie. Infinity, luxury cars that inspire at every turn. And by Verizon Wireless, America's largest mobile-to-mobile calling family. 3-3, bottom of the 6th inning. Rusty Ryle moves over to pick up at first base to replace Chad Tracy. And Leo Rosales will take over on the mound. Rosales is from Los Angeles. In fact, he went to school at Cal State Northridge. 28 years old, 6'1", 185, originally signed by the Padres. And he'll be facing Manny Ramirez. Fouled away. 0-1 to Manny. Fly to center, fly to right. Three runs, 7 hits for the D-backs. 3 runs, 6 hits for the Dodgers. 1 ball and 1 strike. And that's lifted to right field. Coming over is Upton. So Manny, 3 fly balls. He goes 0 for 3. And the batter will be Casey Blake. Casey Blake flied to right, hit back to the box, 0 for 2. I love the line about Leo Rosales and his mom. Early in spring training of 07, when he was with the Padres, he was working with a recipe from his mother making taquitos for the post-game spread. And Bud Black said Rosales has a very good changeup and he can cook. Well, they're hoping he can do more than cook now in a 3-3 tie. Number 1 pitch is his changeup. That was a big slider, 1-2 the count. Changeup, fastball, and the slider. Signed by the Pirates. When Scott Hairston went to San Diego, they acquired Leo in Arizona. 1-2. Foul back. Tomorrow night, Max Scherzer will go up against Chad Billingsley. And then Thursday, Bill Buckner will be on the mound for Arizona. And the Dodgers will counter with John Garland, recently of Arizona. 1-2 to Casey Blake. Fastball got him outside corner. Casey not happy, turns and walks away. Yusmeiro Petit, who in 5 innings allowed 3 runs, 6 hits, and struck out 2. Now Rosales gets a strikeout. And here's Orlando Hudson. Grounded to short and doubled. Fly ball that hit the foul line. Strike. 0-1. Orlando hitting .292, and Rosales trying to get him in the 6th. 8 in a row retired since Hudson's double in the 4th inning. Remember last night the Dodgers had back-to-back home runs and were never heard from again. They went 0 for 15. One and one. Fouled away. Hudson has 9 home runs, but if he came into the ballpark and looked at Chris Young in center field, you would think he would have at least double the 9. Young plays a very deep center field for Orlando Hudson. Ground ball up the middle. Base hit. So Orlando gets one by the diving Stephen Drew. He goes 2 for 3 with that base hit. And it'll bring up Russell Martin. Hit number 1 off Rosales. So 3 runs and 7 hits for each team. Rosales apparently has a pretty good temper. 2 years ago, he was pitching for the Portland Beavers. That's the #1 farm club behind the Padres. And he broke his hand. He punched a wall in the bathroom after he blew a save. Ball 1. Surgery required. He had to have a titanium plate and 6 screws inserted in his hand. And as he said, I was angry, did something stupid, and it cost me 5 months. 1-0. 2-0. Martin, fly ball single to right, and a long fly ball to right. 1 for 2. 3-3. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Orlando Hudson has stolen 7 out of 8. So they have to keep an eye on him. Fastball in there. The gun didn't show much on that fastball. They said it was 83. 2 balls, 1 strike. Another strike. That fastball registers 87. They say his fastball anywhere from 88 up, but he hadn't hit that. 3-3. Bottom of the 6th. Fouled away. Down in the Dodger bullpen, Ramon Troncoso begins to loosen up. So it's been Padilla, then Elbert, then Belisario, and they're looking ahead to have Troncoso ready. Two balls and 2 strikes. Fouled away. Each side scored in the first inning. Then the Dodgers scored a run in the second, a run in the third. They led 3-1 until the top of the 6th when the D-backs scored 2 to tie it up. 2-2 to Russell Martin. Foul the other way. Martin hitting .260, 4 home runs, 38 runs batted in. Hudson, a quiet runner. Check swing, did he? No. Gary Darling says. So 3-2 the count to Martin. Orlando ready to move with 2 out in a 3-3 tie. James Loney on deck. Hudson goes, and the pitch is popped in the air. Going out is Ryan Roberts, and there come Upton, but it was Roberts who stayed with it. No runs, 1 hit, a man left, and at the end of 6, a 3-3 tie.
deal is Toyota moving forward. And by Carl's Jr. Try a Carl's Jr. $6 burger made with 100% Black Angus beef.
3-3 tie. That's the way they were last night. They carried into the 10th inning, and the D-backs went on to win it 5-3. So they're locked in again as we go to the 7th inning. Ronald Belisario getting ready to pitch to Justin Upton, Mark Reynolds, and Miguel Montero. That would be the heart of the Diamondback lineup. Although, according to Edgar Allan Poe, the telltale heart has not really been beating. That's right. You look at Upton, Reynolds, and Montero. Reynolds in the heart of it, struck out twice, 0 for 3. Montero 1 for 3 with a strikeout. Upton was called out in the 5th inning and hits one in the air to right center. It's playable. Matt Kemp. One away. So Belisario takes care of Upton, and now Reynolds. Mark Reynolds came up with a bases loaded in the 1st inning and nobody out, and struck out. Came up with a runner at 2nd and 1 out and grounded out, and then led off the 6th inning and struck out. 40 home runs. Albert Pujols, last we checked, had 41. 0-1 to count to Mark. Reynolds has improved in his defensive play at third base. One year he made 35 errors, but he's getting better. Last year he struck out 204 times. Still had 97 runs batted in and 28 home runs. Ball 1. Mark is 26, facing Ronald Belisario. Fouled away. Reynolds from Pikeville, Kentucky, went to the University of Virginia, played baseball for USA Baseball, 6 different events, including Team USA in Cuba. One and 2. That's it. So Reynolds strikes out a 3rd time tonight. That's 4 times in the 2 games. And the batter will be Miguel Montero. Montero struck out, grounded out, and singled. His base hit was against Scott Elbert, and that was the beginning of the 2-run rally that got the D-backs even. Ball 1. Montero, 13 home runs, 50 runs batted in, hitting a very, very solid .296 and a little 6-game hitting streak. Fly ball to left, Manny over to his right. So a 1-2-3 inning for Ronald Belisario. Down go the D-backs, and we head for the bottom of the 7th in a 3-3 tie. We'll have God Bless America, followed by Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
As we honor America with the singing of God Bless America. Hitting off the bottom of the seventh for the Dodgers, first baseman number 7, James Loney.
Leo Rosales in a 3-3 tie. And for the Dodgers, they will have James Loney, followed by Juan Pierre, and then Rafael Furcal. 3 runs, 7 hits for each side. The error charge of the D-back, that freakish play on a strong one-hopper thrown by Justin Upton. And with Matt Kemp going back to second base, the ball hit him, carried him down the left field line, and the Dodgers picked up a gift run. So here's Loney. Ball 1. James single to left, fouled out. 1-for-2. Way out in front of that. That's the changeup. That's really his best pitch. So they say. Sure looked good on that pitch. 1-1 to Loney. Pulled foul. So he'll throw the changeup at about 80 and then come back with a fastball, maybe 5 or 6 miles faster. One and two. James hitting .275. Little pop fly. Rosales on the mound. So Loney pops it up to the pitcher. And the batter now will be Pierre, batting for Belisario. Juan Pierre hitting .322. If he gets on base, he has 23 stolen bases. Even though he hasn't played a lot, he has piled up over 100 hits, 104. Ronald Belisario goes out after making 22 pitches. One ball and one strike to Juan. Rafael Furcal waiting on deck. It's been Petit, followed by Rosales. The Dodgers have used Padilla, Elbert, and Belisario, and they have Troncoso in the wings. Two and one. D-backs pull up the corners. That's ball 3. Ryle near the bag at first, and Reynolds right on the edge of the grass at third. 3-1. And ball 4. So now the Dodgers have someone who can run in Juan Pierre, who has stolen 23 out of 33. And Rafael Furcal coming up. Furcal 0 for 3, fly to right, lined out to center, hit that little pop fly, and Ryan Roberts, the second baseman, ran it down in shallow right field. Rafael Furcal, switch hitter, as you know, but he's about 30 points higher batting right-handed. Came into the game hitting .249 left-handed, and he's 0 for 3. Shows bunt, ball 1. Big man on deck, Matt Kemp. One ball and no strikes. 3-3, bottom of the 7th, 1 out. Naturally concerned about Pierre's ability to steal, so Leo's keeping an eye on him. And that's off the plate. 2 balls and no strikes. And that's going to be lined into the gap in left center. Over to cut it off with a slide is Power. And Pierre will go to third, into second, goes for a call with a double. So Rafael Furcal lining the double into the gap in left center. Good defensive play by Parra to slide and cut it off. So now Matt Kemp comes up with first base open, and let's see what they decide to do. Clay Zavada, a left-hander, begins to throw. Mel Stottlemyre going out to the mound, the pitching coach for the D-backs. So what do? Do you put Kemp on to load the bases and bring the left-hander in to pitch to Ethier? We'll see in a moment. So Stottlemyre holding court, talking to Rosales. Nods yes. So now we'll find out, and the first guy to tell us, of course, will be Miguel Montero. The Matt Kemp homered, bunted for a base hit fly to center, and it looked like Montero just gestured 4 fingers to the plate umpire, Paul Emmel. So the infield is going to come up, but they will put Kemp on. So in a moment, the base is loaded, 1 out, and then we'll see about Rosales pitching, or will they bring in the left-hander to go after Ethier? Just to put your thinking cap on, Andre Ethier is hitting 188 against left-hand pitching. Then if you bring the left-hander in and he happens to get Ethier without getting the 3rd out, then you have Manny Ramirez, who's hitting 273 with 3 home runs against the left-hander. So in a moment now, the bases are loaded. Ethier will be coming up, and here comes A.J. Hinch. So far you can read the script, and they'll bring in the left-hander, Clay Zavada. So with the bases loaded and 1 out, we'll be back. Numbers, we told you that Andre Ethier is hitting 181 against left-hand pitching. However, Clay Zavada, the left-hander brought in, He's hit to the tune of 288 by left-hand batters. In fact, he gets right-hand batters out a lot better than left-handers. Another thing, another set of numbers about Andre Ethier. He has grounded into 19 double plays. And the D-back infield is set in double play depth. In case you wonder, Kevin Kuzminoff of San Diego has grounded into 24 double plays to lead the league. So it's an interesting set of numbers. Ethier doesn't hit left-handers, but this left-hander is roughed up by left-handers. And let's see. Dodgers with Pierre, Furcal, and Kemp. They all run very well, as you know. Ball one. Clay Zavada working on Ethier. Clay is from Illinois, went to Southern Illinois. He's only 25. And a little foul ball, 1-1. Zavada 6'1", 195. Had lost his mom when he was only 3 and then lost his dad later on. So he had to give up baseball because the other son was in the Navy. So he gave up baseball for a year to run the farm. And now here he is. Ball 2, 2-1. So Ethier has things his way. Pierre, Furcal, and Kemp. Track team out there. 2-1 to Ethier. Way outside. A lot of people certainly behind home plate on their feet. Bottom of the 7th inning in a 3-3 tie. Check swing. They're going to look. No swing. Ball 4. The run is in. And the Dodgers take a 4-3 lead. So under the heading of the best laid plans of mice and men, you write in the name A.J. Hinch. Now, with Manny Ramirez due up, Hinch going out to talk to the plate umpire. It doesn't quite look like a double switch, but we'll see. Normally it is. Yep, they're going to make a double switch. Brandon Allen, the big first baseman, will come over and move in for Ryan Real. They'll bring the right-hander in from the bullpen, and we'll be back. Coming up, 1 out. Dodgers lead 4-3. Ineffective pitching by the left-hander Clay Zavada will now bring in the right-hander Blaine Boyer. And as you can see, Manny 2 away from the great Lou Gehrig. We saw Boyer last night. He pitched the 7th inning, and he got Furcal, Loney, and Martin. But now Blaine is asked to get Ramirez with the bases loaded. Blaine Boyer is out of Atlanta, Georgia. He's the fellow who went to elementary school with Bobby Cox's daughter, and in the 3rd grade, he told Bobby's daughter, one day I'm going to play for your dad. And sure enough, in 2005, he pitched for the Atlanta Braves. All right, Manny checking in. Ethier, Kemp, and Furcall. Boyer has never faced Ramirez before, though it should be quite an experience for both of them. Whoa, what a swing. 0-1 the count. Boyer has 5 straight scoreless outings. That covers 5 innings. Since the 23rd of July, he's pitched exceptionally well. And on the road, his earned run average is 1.6. Oh and 1 the count for Call, Kemp, and Ethier out on the lines. Hinch out on deck of the dugout. Oh and 2 coming right after him with fastballs and throwing hard. Boyer is 6'3", 215. Fastball clock 90 to 93. Pretty good curveball and a changeup. Last year, right-handers hit 256 against him. 0-2 to Ramirez. 1 out. Got him. Looking for anything but an 0-2 fastball, and Manny pays the bill and goes 0 for 4. 3 pitches with the bases loaded. Fastball fouled away. Fastball fouled away. Fastball taken. See you later. So now the batter is Casey Blake, who is 0 for 3. Casey flied to right, hit back to the box, struck out. And strike. 0-1. Little slider that jumped in there. Casey hitting .270, 16 home runs, 70 runs batted in. He has 4 grand slams. Hit one last year against Kansas City. 0-2. So for Call at third, Kemp at second, Ethier at first. Not much of an attack here. The Dodgers received 3 walks in the inning. 0-2. 0-1. On deck, Orlando Hudson. A lot of baseball left. This is only the bottom of the 7th. Parra, Young, and Rial will be due up in the 8th inning for Arizona. 1-2. Off the plate. Throwing a lot of fastballs. He just hit 95 on that one. So deuce is wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 1 in. Dodgers lead 4-3. Bases loaded. Foul back. Got a good heater going, and he's staying with it. Meanwhile, Manny talking to Juan Castro. Ronnie Belliard chewing on sunflower seeds. And it's 4-3 Dodgers in the 7th. Two and 2. Just missed. Whoa. Boy, that was a tough pitch to take with 2 strikes. So with a full count and 2 down, they'll wind up the merry-go-round. Furcal, Kemp, and Ethier ready to go on the move. And this crowd having a ball. Hope you'll be out here maybe tomorrow night or Thursday night, certainly on the weekend. 3-2. Runners go. Fouled away. One fastball after another, and basically staying at 95. Blaine Boyer. Boy, there were a lot of Boyers many years ago. Great third baseman for the Cardinals, Kenny Boyer. Then there was another brilliant third baseman named Clete Boyer. Then there was a pitcher named Cloyd Boyer, but none of them related to Blaine. Three and two. And a fly ball to shallow right. Upton coming up in a hurry and picks it off. So the Dodgers are fortunate they get 3 walks and wind up with a run to get them out in front. And at the end of 7, as Manny goes back to left field empty-handed, Dodgers lead 4-3. The final numbers for our CarMax text message question. Remember, we asked, which player recently acquired do you think will make the biggest impact down the stretch? Ronnie Belliard, Jim Thome, or John Garland? And 54% of you said Ronnie Belliard. We will see. Meanwhile, in an inning that showed 3 walks and a double by Rafael Furcal, the Dodgers take the lead, and now Ramon Troncoso will be asked to hold on to it, facing Parra, Young, and Rayal. Gerardo Parra, 2 for 2 with a walk. Ball 1. Parra singled off Padilla's leg to drive in a run. Single to left in the 4th inning, walked and scored in the 6th. Ground ball, but right at Hudson. One down in the 8th inning, and Chris Young coming up. Young has had a very tough night, and it's not just the fact you go 0 for 3. But when you go 0 for 3 and you fail to advance anybody, and every time you come up there are men on base, that's really a bad night. Came up with the bases loaded in the 1st inning, made the last out on a ground ball. Came up with a runner at second and fouled out. Came up with a couple of men on base and struck out. DeYoung has really fallen upon bad times, 0 for 3 tonight, and just has not been able to do anything. Badly fooled on a pitch, so he's pressing. 0-2 the count. Young 25. He'd be 26 on the 5th. Oh boy. Frozen on the curveball. So Young goes a painful 0 for 4. He is now 3 for his last 41 at bats. So Troncoso nails him with the curveball, and the batter now Rusty Ryle, who came off the bench, had a pinch single to drive in Montero, and then stayed in the game to play second base. Foul ball, 0-1. Four runs, 8 hits for the Dodgers, 3 runs, 7 hits for the D-backs. 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. In the dirt. The paid attendance tonight, a little bit more than last night, 45,433. Last night, 45,211. And of course, last night, Dodgers went over the 3 million mark for the 14th straight year. 1 ball and 2 strikes. In the dirt. Dodgers had Kemp homer in the first inning to tie the D-backs, who made a lot of noise and produced 1 run. Padilla made 37 pitches. D-backs had the bases loaded and nobody out, and they were really fortunate to get 1. Dodgers opened it 3-1, but the D-backs tied it up with 2 in the 6th, and the Dodgers untied it in the bottom of the 7th. Though it is 4-3 Dodgers, in case you might have just joined us a little late, with 2 out in the 8th inning. Rusty hitting .313. He has 2 home runs, 3 runs batted in. Fastball, and he lost him. The Ryle gets the walk. Brandon Allen will be coming up. You know, you can follow the Dodgers on your iPhone and iPod Touch with MLB.com at Bat 2009, featuring play-by-play, video highlights, live audio broadcasts. Visit Dodgers.com on your iPhone or iPod Touch to purchase. Well, we saw young Allen play last night, and he struck out 3 times and went 0 for 4. Keep an eye on Ryle. A lot of people have looked at Allen and say eventually he might reach the stature of, let's say, a Ryan Howard, and that would be a sizable stature. As it is, he's 6'2", about 235, 23 years old. The White Sox signed him back in 2004. And ball 1. Made a lot of stops in the minor leagues and made his major league debut here this year. They sent Tony Pena to Chicago to get it. One ball and no strikes to Brandon Allen. 2 out. 1-1. Down in the Dodger bullpen, a place that is always busy, George Sherrill begins to warm up. Ball 2. Sherrill, of course, no doubt getting ready in case need be that Stephen Drew gets to the plate. So they get Sherrill ready for him. Drew on deck, waiting for a lick. Did you say that when you were a kid playing? Save me a lick. And a high strike. 2-2 the count. So it's been Padilla, then Elbert, then Belisario, and now Troncoso. Looking at Ryall over there at first base, and you know he was the one who hit the line drive that hit Kuroda. Reminds us, Kuroda threw 62 pitches in 5 innings tonight at San Bernardino. That's good news. And that's going to be fouled off to the left and well out of play. The pitching for the remainder of the series: Chad Billingsley tomorrow night against Max Scherzer, and then Billy Buckner will be on the mound for Arizona against the former Diamondback, and that's going to be quite an emotional experience for John Garland. And a high fly ball into right field. Back goes Efi. It's to the track at the wall. Reaches up and makes the catch. Got a walk in the 7th inning to push over a run, and he just saved one, maybe two. Watch the glove and the top of the wall, awfully close to going out, and it's still 4-3 Dodgers. A thread, and that thread is Andre Ethier and his glove, because that ball hit by Brandon Allen looked like it might go out, except Andre interfered with it and makes a brilliant catch. Wow. Kind of an ice cream cone coming down, and the Dodgers all over him to congratulate him on a brilliant catch. So to the bottom of the 8th inning, 4-3 Dodgers, and it'll be Orlando Hudson, Russell Martin, and James Loney. Down in the Dodger bullpen, there is always room for Jonathan Broxton to warm up for the 9th inning. Hudson grounded out, doubled and singled, 2 for 3. Foul ball. 0-1. 4 runs, 8 hits for the Dodgers, 3 runs, 7 hits for the D-backs. That's a strike. So Andre Ethier had a quiet night, struck out, flied to right and grounded out, but then walked to force in the go-ahead run, and then makes that remarkable play on the ball hit by Brandon Allen. Eating the candy with the thought how sweet it is. A one-hopper, nice play at second base by Raya. Oh, Rusty hangs in to take a base hit away from Hudson. That thing was really stung. Rusty gets his man, 1 down, and the batter will be Russell Martin. That thing might have hurt a little bit, landing around the chest area. Martin, fly ball single to shallow right, then flied pretty deep to right and popped up. One and 0. Ball 2. Blaine Boyer, who came in with the bases loaded, a run in, and struck out Manny Ramirez on 3 pitches, and got Blake on a fly ball to right on a 3-2 pitch. That's a strike. 2-1. Chad Qualls is the closer, or was the closer, for Arizona. Dislocated his left kneecap. Terrible blow. Have no idea if and when Chad will come back. That's a strike. Qualls had 24 saves and was doing a tremendous job for Arizona, but apparently they've lost him for a while. Juan Gutierrez picking up for him. High chopper to short. Drew on the run. So Martin goes 1 for 4, 2 down in the 8th inning, and James Loney coming up.
Number 7, James Loney.
When you look back, the Dodgers lead 4-3, but they've really not been hitting at all. I mean, Kemp hit a home run. A couple of fly ball bloops got in the 2nd inning. That gave him a run. Then Kemp had a bunt single, stole second, and on a fly ball to right, Upton threw back to second. The ball hit Kemp, caromed into left field, and Matt scored. There's a line drive whistled by Boyer. Zoloni, a 2-out single, and it will be Ronnie Belliard coming up to bat for Ramon Troncoso. And then the Dodgers get the go-ahead run on a walk with the bases loaded. So here's Belliard batting for Troncoso. Pierre appeared earlier as a pinch hitter and walked. Ball 1. Belliard started at second base last night. He had a home run, then grounded out, struck out, flied out. And he drives one to the gap, but coming over on a run to pick it off is Parra. So for the Dodgers, no runs, 1 hit. The big play was Rusty Ryle taking the hit away from Hudson. And we go to the 9th. Enter Jonathan Broxton for 3 Dodgers. Acquisitions, remember, Jim Tomei, with his 564 home runs, will arrive tomorrow, be in uniform and ready to appear as a pinch hitter, we gather, and not playing defensively at all. And John Garland, with 114 victories in his career, he'll take the mound against his old club Thursday night. Tomorrow night, Scherzer and Billingsley, and then Buckner and Garland Thursday evening. So John Garland will go through some emotion, I'm sure, tomorrow night, or actually Thursday night. And here's Jonathan Broxton, Drew, then Alex Romero and Upton. Big John trying for his 30th save. We'll check and see how some of the D-backs have fared against him. And first up, Stephen Drew. Strike. Drew is 5 for 11 against Broxton. Broxton pitched the 9th inning last night. Retired the side in order. Look out. Did that hit somebody? I think he got the plate umpire a little bit. Sure did. Wow. And that's a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. So he really took a lick. Up and in. Looked like it got him on the right arm. Whoa. And now first base umpire Gary Darling coming in to make sure that Paul's okay. Wow, that has to be a killer. 97-mile-an-hour fastball on an unprotected arm. Looks like a mark right there. Umpires are tough. You bet they are. I mean, they go inning after inning. There's no sitting in the dugout. They're not 24 years old. That looks like an indentation in his arm. Wow. 1-1. Off the plate. 2 balls and 1 strike to count. Drew walked and scored a run, popped to short, hit back to the box and walked again. 0 for 2. He's been struggling, hitting about 260. Two and two. D-backs led 1-0. Dodgers tied it. Dodgers led 2-1, 3-1. D-backs tied it 3-3. Dodgers pushed over a run in the 7th. Andre Ethier made the catch of quite a while, and the Dodgers are still leading 4-3 because of it. Two and two to Stephen Drew. Fouled away. D-backs with a 5-game winning streak on the line. And remember, they lost 6 out of 8 to the Dodgers. Now they've turned it around to win 3 out of 4. But they're down 4-3 in the 9th inning tonight. 2 balls, 2 strikes. In the dirt, the out will be recorded at first. So Drew in the leadoff role goes 0 for 3 as he strikes out. And the batter now will be Alex Romero. Alex Romero, left-hand batter, checking in. Alex Romero is from Maracaibo in Venezuela. 6-footer, 190. He'll be 26 on the 9th. Originally signed by Minnesota, but never came up with the Twins. Came up last year with the D-backs. Hitting .268. Ball one. No power. He has one home run. He had 2 home runs at Reno. Last year in 78 games, he had 1 home run. So he's not that kind of a threat. Off the plate. 2-0 the count. Two balls, no strikes. That's a strike. 2-1. Alex runs well. Fastball missed. 3-1. On deck certainly is the man the Dodgers have to worry about, Justin Upton. Upton has a bunt single and a double. He has had a lot of trouble in the past, however, with Broxton. Check swing. That's a strike. 3-2. Wonder if it's a little painful for Paul Emmel to raise that right arm and hand at all to indicate strike after taking that nasty lick, and it looks like discoloration on the arm. 3-2. Fouled away. Still 3-2 to Alex Romero. Ninth inning, 4-3 Dodgers, 1 out, bases empty. So Drew went down on strikeouts. Romero goes down on strikeouts. And the batter now is Justin Upton, who certainly is a formidable foe with 2 out in the 9th inning. Upton had single, home run, double last night. Bunt single and double tonight. So he had 5 straight hits. Then struck out and flied to center. 23 home runs. 72 RBIs. However, 1 for 7, striking out 4 of the 7 times against Broxton. Fastball missed. Ball 1. Dodgers in 1-run games at home are 18-6. And ball 2. So Broxton pitching so very carefully, went all the way and struck out Romero. Now falling behind 2-0 to Upton with Mark Reynolds on deck. Little foul. You look at Upton, he has struck out 4 of his 7 previous at-bats against Broxton. Reynolds has struck out 4 of his previous 6 at-bats against Broxton. And yet both men very dangerous. Upton with 23 home runs, Mark Reynolds with 40. 2-1 to Justin Upton. Little ground ball up along third, stays fair, and it's going to be a base hit. When that ball left, it looked, oh well, foul ball. And suddenly it veered in, and Upton is aboard. And feast or famine hitter Mark Reynolds coming up. Look at this. Fair, and then it cut to the right. And Blake did not have a play. So that is the third hit for Upton. Mark Reynolds coming up has struck out 3 times tonight. The one time he hit the ball, he had a little ground ball. Is it hard to strike out 3 times in one game? Well, Mark Reynolds has done that 20 times this year. Upton at first. And he goes. And Martin's throw on a hop. Though Upton steals second, he has stolen 18 out of 22. He's a multi-talent. Upton just takes one look back and breezes in ahead of a low throw. So the tying runs at second with 2 out in the 9th. Reynolds trying to get a run batted in. Struck out in the first with the bases loaded, grounded out with Upton at second in the 3rd inning, and then struck out in the 6th and struck out in the 7th. And pops it up. Hudson goes out and calls. Kemp is behind him. There you have it. So Mark Reynolds has a very tough night. He left 3, 4, 5 men, and Andre Ethier gets a walk to bring in the winning run.